Hey, guys. So it's a little bit smoky out and things are a little bit wild. We've got the Armageddon kind of vibe going on outside. So the Wi Fi might be a little slow. Not sure what's going on there. But happy Tarot Tuesday. I can't believe it's already Tuesday. And just thought I'd check in with the energies and see what spirit and our guides and ancestors have for us today. So today I'm using the Spirit of the Animal Oracle by Jody Bergsma. We've got the Fairy Oracle by Doreen Le Virtue and the Wisdom of the Avalon. So let's get started. I've done 2, 2, and 2, and then I will pull some personal cards if you stick around at the end there, because I should have more than enough time to do that today. And just to let you know, I am on Facebook at Kindred Heart Tarot, as well as Mollie Kindred. Hi, Charlotte. How you doing? So if you haven't liked the page or followed my page already, go ahead and go over there and check that out. You can find all my services listed as well. I am taking private bookings for tarot readings as well as intuitive guidance counseling. So let's see what we have going on today. And also feel free to say hello in the comments. Let us know where you are from. And if you're catching this on the replay, I hope you resonate with this. So let's see, what animal messages do we have for the week? My intention with this reading is to uplift and motivate us. So messages to uplift and motivate us through this week, because it is still a really intriguing time energetically. So we have the squirrel. Totally makes sense as we're in fall, basically. We're coming up to the equinox anyways, and moving into fall, winter. So this is a great little card for us today. We have a little chickadee on there too, and the squirrel. So it says, you are the expert of hard work and hard play. Your cheerful and fun disposition is a blessing to everyone. Don't let life's distractions take you off course. Make a plan for the future and life will give you all you need. So this one is really, talking about the combined efforts of the hard work of our past, planting seeds all the way up until now, and also, that dedicated effort that is constantly ongoing to achieve your goals and to be prepared for your future. So whether that is investments in yourself, investments financially, whatever that is, continuing to kind of stockpile and work your way towards your goals and your efforts here, but being mindful that you always have what you need. So right now you do have what you need to take the steps necessary to get prepared. So really, really cool message here, but it also is reminding us the cheerful and fun disposition. So if we're really serious about something and all in our cerebral processing, it's a little bit harder to have that creative flow. So I think squirrel is also reminding us, yes, you can be dedicated, you can be putting effort daily into something, but you can also be looking at your efforts with a joyful disposition as well, because you know that you're investing in yourself, or you know that you're investing in your future. So just remembering to have that balance of work and play is very important. We need this in all areas of our life, not just our goal setting or preparation for our future, whether this is financial. Good morning, Kathy. How you doing? Whether this is internal, so setting goals to do yoga or setting goals to have a better diet, whatever it is for you, it's finding that balance and coming from a nice approach where you're investing in your future, but in the now you're also being very balanced and incorporating a little bit of a joyful energy into what you're working on now. So really shifting our focus. It's more of a forward focus too. So a future focus versus dwelling on the past. But the seeds we planted are going to actually be really influencing what comes up here in the future. Because I don't know if you guys know this, I'm sure you do. But squirrels bury, they stockpile and they bury things everywhere. So I'm not really sure how organized they are in that regard, but they definitely have themselves covered for the winter and when they need to go find their food, right? So let's take a look at I'm doing this a little bit differently. I have no idea why, but we're switching things up a bit. We're going to look at the next animal totem. Usually I read them in a line. This time I'm just going to read them in groups. So we have the sea turtle coming up again. This one came up very recently as well. So you are a master of finding life's flow. Be in harmony with the rhythm and your path will unfold. So, 2 cards really about not letting distractions take you off course, going with the flow, not holding on too tightly to anything. You're guided and protected at this time. Persevere and you will succeed. You have everything you need to be protected and happy. So another reassurance, you have everything you need to be protected and happy. And so wherever you are right now in your spiritual journey, you have what you need to move forward, to take that next step. So just be mindful if you're really in that energy of wanting or really rejecting where you are right now. There's some work to be done in the internal landscape or the mental cerebral landscape to give yourself a little bit of a break from the burdens of the past and or that hamster wheel, so that you can understand what you do have in the now right now that can help you propel you into this future and get prepared. Continue to prepare while you're protected and going with the flow. So squirrel medicine and turtle medicine, very interesting combination for us today. But I really just hear that there's so much success at hand. We are divinely protected and guided at this time because there is some unlocking of major gifts and accomplishments in our lifetimes. I mean, you might have 15 years of struggle or 15 years of just hard work, and it might not pay off until you're 17 or 18, right, of your dedicated effort. So Spirit is reminding us to continue to prepare, but also to go with the flow and enjoy ourselves in the now, right? Which is a quite common energy, but there's something special to this message today in that we have everything we need going forward. So let's take a look at what our fairies have to say with regards to this energy. Love life. All right. The basis of your question involves your romantic life, which is now changing for the better. And so, we see this little lady fairy kind of chilling out on the flower. And we got this little man fairy, coming up saying, hey, how you doing? So we do a lot of this energy of being prepared for the future, but going with the flow and you're divinely protected means that, and I've been talking about this for quite some time on my channel, that there are some very important soul bonds that are coming in, and we may have to do a little bit of navigation through these, some yes, some no, some discernment here, but your love life is changing for the better. And this is included in this squirrel medicine in terms of preparing and planting seeds for the future. So, if you've had relationships that have turned out or not turned out the way you would have liked them to, but you have integrated and taken the time to reflect and look at some of the lessons you learned and perhaps move away from some blame and taking responsibility for your side of things and just moving forward with what you are in control of, so to speak, which is your own landscape, your own intellect, your own emotion, spirit, and really coming back to what you desire and what you've been planting the seeds for in your life. Because something that I've come across in the last couple of days even was, if something doesn't work out, but you're going with the flow and you're in the right place at the right time and you're divinely protected, what does that really mean to you if you're trusting the process and you're trusting yourself? Because if that didn't work out, but you learned something integral for what will work out, then you may not have been able to actually align with that person that you really, really have been calling in. If you didn't learn those lessons in those previous relationships. So everything is really coming together. It's weaving together in a very beautiful way. And it's incorporating everything that you have prepared for. And it's really, really connected with this protection. This love connection is protected. And you can't get there by forcing it. You have to allow it to flow. And this is part and parcel of the lessons we've been learning, is to really surrender control and surrender manipulation tactics that we might have learned over the years. And when I say manipulation tactics, that can be as simple as reaching out when you know you don't really want to, but you want to like push something. It doesn't have to be like a conniving manipulation. Manipulation doesn't necessarily mean bad, but it means you're manipulating something for an intended outcome, or you're manipulating a person for an intended outcome. And so you guys use your own awareness there to decipher that. But we definitely have some beautiful, beautiful love energies coming in. I am personally super excited about this. And I was talking about this the other day, but I do feel like for those of you who resonate with having done a lot of giving in past relationships, and you can take initiative, you can make the effort, you know that you have that capability. And I have mentioned this before in readings, but maybe a couple months ago. You don't have to do a lot of work for this, so to speak, because in that receptive energy of going with the flow, this is going to be something that comes to you because you have called it in. And so it's a very divine feminine receptivity energy. And we just had 11:44 on the timestamp. So that's confirmation for me that it's really about allowing, surrendering, trusting, and opening your heart again, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, because now you know how to be vulnerable with boundaries, right? So we don't, even if we've had a really hard go of things, and this could be recent or in the past, we know within ourselves, we have more information to invest in healthy relationships at this time. So issues we may have dealt with in the past, we don't have to worry about them cropping up again, because we have changed, we've evolved, we're moving forward in a different energy. So clarifying that, oh yeah. They're like, this is a no nonsense reading. Goodbye to the old, hello to the new. You've finished one part of your life, and now a new and even better part is beginning. So really reminding us, if you're having trouble, if you're really grieving what's lost, or if you haven't come into that energy of acceptance, or you don't understand the lesson, that would be a good thing to talk to either a therapist or a counselor or a healer with if you are really stuck. But it is saying, it's confirming that a huge cycle has ended, and whatever you have lost, it's not truly lost, because what's coming in is going to be a better fit for you. It's going to be in a better alignment, and ultimately it's what you've been asking for all along. However, if the timing wasn't right, it meant either you or the person involved still had some healing to do for you to be in the correct alignment and divine timing for this to really flourish and take off. So whatever you are relinquishing, just understand that it is coming back to you, but in a evolved manner. Okay, so this could be a new person. More than likely it is new energy, because we are talking about goodbye to the old. And this is also the old version of yourself that may have tolerated behaviors that, you're not tolerating anymore. It could be a version of yourself that rushes into relationships, and now you're going to take your time and you're just going to enjoy the process. So whatever it is for you out with the old, can be a person, it can be an energy, it could be a mindset, but you really are relinquishing and releasing, and you're going with the flow, knowing that what is for you is protected, and that you are prepared you are ready. So for what you've called in, you're ready for. And so right now it might just be a little bit of a breather, but I do feel it will be coming in faster than slower at this time, because if you really have closed the door energetically on whatever cycle you have just completed, then it really frees everything up to finally start moving and come in, because there was a little bit of decision making, I think, happening in the past couple months or so. So, new coming into the love life. And I know a few of you guys are like, yeah. And I am there too. So let's see what we have for clarifiers in terms of our Wisdom of Avalon cards. What we got going on? Ooh, no. So it's like, yeah, 2020. We've got disruption. And I'll read this one from the book, but I mean, we get it, right? Let's see. Yeah, so this resonates to the number 3. So if you guys have been seeing repeating numbers 3, 6, 9, that energy, this will specifically be for you. But we have the energy of disruption. So being very, I'll just say what I'm getting intuitively first, but being very aware and observing your surroundings, paying attention to the details. You know, we know this. We have dealt with so much over the past year, if not, the past 5, 10, 15 years, depending on what your journey has been like. But we know now that we're not afraid of these disruptions. We might be a little exhausted and tired of them, but we're aware of our own strength and our capacity to solution or find solutions and problem solve. And so these disruptions, we know are course corrections now, and we're like, okay, all right. If there's something that's not quite right, I know that I have the tools and resources to adjust, and I'm going to listen to my intuition. I'm going to listen to the messages that are coming through. And I know that I have this protection and this kind of unseen guidance to help me maneuver anything that's not in my highest alignment, or those distractions that the squirrel energy was talking to us about. So, whenever we close off a cycle and we have something new coming in, we do have these little tests and trials that come in. And so this disruption card, I feel like, is talking about that, that we might just have a couple little things to work on here. This might also be for a select few. So it says, this marker warns of a shaky foundation placed on a fault line. At best, this reminds you that shakeups are necessary. This is kind of like the Tower card in the tarot when you need a wake-up call. It's a warning for you to be diligent and alert when making decisions. So any contracts, documents, big moves, you really have to double check in, go meditate, double check in with your body. How does my body feel about this move or this contract? How does my mind feel about this? Can I do a pros and cons list? How does my spirit feel about this? So really engaging everything that you've learned so far in making these big decisions. Remember, Mars is in retrograde. This can also portend a toppling of plans or ideas, or a total destruction of something hard won, worked for, or desired. Be reminded that the way of the goddess is one of mystery and chaos is the ultimate cleanser. Disruption brings delays and upsets that have a hidden gift or opportunity within them. This is the time to rethink, rebuild, and refortify. So I'll say that again. This is the time to rethink, rebuild, and refortify that which was previously unstable, or it allows you to begin anew. So fresh start. Okay, this is our second reminder, goodbye to the old, hello to the new. We are no longer building on shaky foundations, fault lines. We're not going to be getting into relationships or where there's uncertainty or non-commitment, so really we're looking for stability and security and safety. We're really providing that and, cultivating that within ourselves. So stability within ourselves. So knowing how to take the appropriate actions for self-care for us. And so it says here Without this gift, you wouldn't be adequately supported later on when you'll need it most. So the lessons and or the tweaking that's required here, hi, Dr. Positive Tales, you know, the lessons, like I kind of said before, we will need for our future self in our leadership energy. So there's gifts to the lessons that we have just learned. There's gifts to that cycle we have closed off. So the greater message reminds you that in life, all people, places, concepts, and things are but fleeting on the path to wholeness. Only spirit is stable and eternal, such is the wisdom of Avalon. So, we are constantly being reminded of impermanence right now, even with the forest fires going on, impermanence, right? And that remember that impermanence goes both ways. So being grateful for when you're in a really good spot, you're joyful, you're energetic, maybe abundance is flowing, but also knowing that if you're depressed, you have anxiety and you feel stagnant and stuck, that is also impermanent. So, it's always moving, it's always fluctuating, but here we have a definite reminder of impermanence and also the importance of building on solid, steady ground. And if you're asking, and here, they're showing me a little bit here. If you're asking, why did this happen? Or I can't cerebrally understand. I can't analyze how this happened, because you've got that spiritual side of you that is connected in with a 5D and so much more. The unity consciousness, the understanding of oneness. Well, I'm kind of lost track of where I was going there. But if you understand that key portion, then you will trust and have faith that you have that connection or continuity into what you've been calling in. So the continuity of your dream, it hasn't been lost, okay? You had to have a lesson there, but it hasn't been lost. So there's continuity in where you have always been going, the direction your soul has always been going. You're still on that path. You are ready to rock and roll, but be very aware right now we're still in that transition period between the old and the new, and we're doing awesome, you guys. I have this feeling that you guys are doing really well. You have made the yes or no choices. You have, let go of burdens or issues that aren't your own. You're not rescuing anymore. You're going, okay, that's yours to handle. Like, I'm moving on out. I'm taking a step away from anything that causes me, anxiety, harm, pain, that isn't avoidance, but it's protection of yourself and it's self-care and making sure that you are in positive energies and supportive energies and moving away from those that would take you down. So let's see, our final clarifying card for that is forgiveness. Whoa, Nelly. I'm going to read both of these because I feel like these are pretty strong cards to have come up together. It may indicate that there's been a verbal altercation or some form of argument with someone, or something came crashing down, in the recent past here, or that we're going to continue to be having these important conversations because we're not avoiding anything anymore. We're not walking on eggshells. We're calling people out when their masks slip. With Mars retrograde, it's hard to pretend anymore if you have people who have been wearing masks or lying or deceiving. And this doesn't mean maliciously, but it can be malicious as well. But, it is saying that there's a need for forgiveness here in moving forward. And this can be simply forgiving maybe the destruction that happened within this, forgiving how everything ended up, happening. But this is really forgiveness within yourself, okay? So giving yourself permission to move forward from the past. I will read this card because I feel called to do so. Let's see. Drawing this marker says that you must now search your heart for any unresolved resentment, anger, or disagreements between you and another. If you're still hurt or angry about another's behavior, or if there are circumstances in your life that you resent, this is a time when it's crucial to release the negative energy surrounding those situations. Okay, so yes, these are definitely very connected because it's asking you to release the energy surrounded with this disruption in your life, this tower moment, this crumbling. Could be a relationship, could have been something to do with business, could be job loss, home loss. Resisting this healing will only impede your growth and draw more unwanted experiences to you. Resentment and anger are emotions that actually bind you and hook you to the events that cause you suffering, keeping them alive inside you, draining you of your life force and inner light. This can be something as simple as going back and replaying in your mind a conversation. And I have to admit, there is personal growth and learning that is connected with being able not to do this. And I haven't talked much about this, but this is also to do with social media sneaking. So if you're always kind of looking at someone's profile or seeing what's going on, those are behaviors that can also be triggering and re-wounding depending on the situation. And for this, like, for example, had an argument. So this, how it might pertain to me. I had an argument or a disruptive conversation, which was so out of hand that I had to just disengage completely because it was so disrespectful. But for me, what I used to have done in the past, I might have gone back and looked at the dialogue there and been re-traumatized and had that come back up. But now I've been through a situation that was close to that before. And now I've learned that is self-abuse in a way. It's really important to make sure you are okay before you go back and look at dialogue such as that, or simply replaying something over and over and over in your mind, or like I said, looking at people's profiles or anything of the sort on social media when you know it is not serving you or supporting you in that way. And I'm not saying that applies to all of you, but I have had many conversations with people who seem to have difficulty with that. And in a social media world, it's really easy to do that. Whereas before, when you just had a phone, dial up or whatnot, you didn't even have access to that. So your healing would have been much more straightforward in that regard. So just talking about those hooks, that can be a hook for you. Okay. So just remember, take care of yourself first and foremost, and allow these old conditions to move away from you only if they're supportive, only if they bring peace in your mind and in your heart. Can they really come forward with you at this time, depending on how dedicated you are to this change and transformation. It says peace can only come through forgiveness when you release all that binds you to negativity. And this could be someone who's really negative too. Like you don't understand, but they're just so negative all the time. And they're like, nope, I'm not going to. So, that's your responsibility to move your energy away from people who are stuck in that, because it's not your responsibility to pull them out. They have to get themselves out. So it says, perhaps you need to forgive yourself for placing unrealistic expectations on your situation, resulting in a self-sabotaging perception tainted by perfectionism. So it's a pretty loaded sentence. I'll say it again. Perhaps you need to forgive yourself for placing unrealistic expectations on your situation, resulting in a self-sabotaging perception tainted by perfectionism. And I think we all do this, especially in romantic relationships. One or the other or both can put each other on a pedestal and automatically incorporate expectations that ultimately cause an underlying disruption, or give the illusion of solid ground when really it's placed on a fault line because there's, fears and doubts involved. And of course, expectations and self-sabotaging energies aren't really conducive of a positive and healthy relationship. And so we're really working on deconstructing those and coming in with realistic expectations, if any, and learning what our self-sabotaging qualities are. So, with this forgiveness card and this disruption card, it's really working within ourselves and working with spirit in terms of releasing those energies that still bring us down, that we still might not quite understand. So really, sending a lot of forgiving energies, sending a lot of loving energies, and allowing that to release so that you can move forward for your highest and best. So if anyone would like a card pull for themselves, just put yes, please in the comments. I'd be happy to pull a card for you this morning for this Tarot Tuesday. And once again, if you feel called to do so, there is a donation link through PayPal on my Facebook page, Kindred Heart Tarot. You're welcome to donate if you like. It is not called for, but you can if you wish. So here we go. And you can also find me on Instagram. It's Mollie Kindred. And I do some daily card pulls there. But feel free to follow me on Instagram. And once again, Kindred Heart Tarot on Facebook. So I'm going to pull from the Wisdom of Avalon cards. Let us see. So Charlotte, this card is for you. And we're going to go real narrow here. So this one is for you for today and tomorrow, because they're showing me that. I think it is that one. All right. Ooh, you've got the Water Fairy, feelings and emotions, and resonating to the number 10. So this one, new beginning. Once again, this is new beginning energies. So the Water Fairy. And for you guys, most of you probably watch other tarot readers, but if you don't, just know that whenever I'm pulling private cards in a reading, if you stick around for the messages, more often than not, these messages are also for you. But since it is a general reading, you can, choose what to leave and take in regards to when I'm pulling for particular people. So when the Water Fairy swims up to you with her liquid magic, she reminds you that emotions and feelings may be running the show. She asks you to consider how you really feel about things and why. She also reminds you that you are not your feelings. You are the one experiencing them. Remember that as water flows, emotions change. The Water Fairy also tells you that it's time to lose your rigidity. Be fluid and willing at times to compromise and allow change to happen. If you are happy right now, enjoy it. For the Water Fairy swirls her love around you. If things are making you sad, she comes to wash away your tears. The Water Fairy knows the power of emotions. So when she appears, be mindful of them and how they affect you. Remember, feelings are the fuel for manifesting. Be certain that you want to create what you're feeling. Allow your feelings to pass through and focus on the positive. The Water Fairy longs to smile at you in reflection. And so with the sea turtle energy there, and it also reminds me of the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups has a mastery of her emotions. So, when you're in the lower emotional energy, it's easy to get overrun by them. And this can happen at different times. I mean, none of us are always going to be in the Queen of Cups energy, right? But it is saying for you right now that the emotional landscape, most likely connected to your astrology and how everything is changing right now in the skies, it may have something to do with that the water emotional side of you is really being called out, and that there's healing and advancement happening there. And so just be gentle with yourself and understand that those emotions have to process and move through. And so if you are feeling those, overwhelmed by those, then continue to allow them to flow, because I'm not saying stop the emotions. It's allow them to go through and not getting overrun by them. So that's your message there for today and tomorrow specifically. And this could have to do with any hiccups or burdens that are triggered or brought up from this energy here, where we had this in the past. Okay. And so Kathy, let's see what we've got going on. And if you're just tuning in, I'm doing private card pulls. So if you want a card for yourself, just put yes, please in the comments and I will pull a card for you. So this one is for Kathy. This message is for Kathy for her highest and best. There we go. And you're welcome, Charlotte. Okay. Alrighty then. So you got the water fairy as well. So apparently this one should have been in the general reading, but just a reassurance for you, Kathy, that you are also dealing with this energy of the emotional realm and the emotional landscape. But also, you know, in that very end bit of the booklet there, talking about how it's going to help us either way. So, you know, if we're sad, the water fairy is going to assist us with that. And if we're feeling joyful, the water fairy is going to assist us with those emotions. So it's really focusing on strengthening whichever emotion we're in and allowing it to move through. So I'm not going to pull another one for either, Kathy, because I did shuffle those cards there, but this water fairy is for you too. So if you have to catch the replay and listen to the message again, go ahead and do that. And let's see, we have Dr. Positive Tales. What a fun name. So this one is for you. There we go. Hopefully it's not the water fairy again. Okay, we've got the serpent. Resonating to the number 5. So you definitely have change happening in your life. And also, you know, knowledge and healing. So what this snake also talks about is these times of blindness, these times of transforming into something new, a new aspect of ourselves, a new version of ourselves. And so really, really understanding both your ability to heal and to be healed, and honoring both sides of that for yourself. But also, if you are going through a time of blindness, then knowing that this, going back to the general reading, is impermanent. And so you will be moving forward again. Exactly. So you will be moving forward again very soon. Another thing with the snake medicine, because we were given the energy to pay attention to the details, I think this might also be pertinent for you. The snake is kind of the king of the ground energy. The eagle is kind of the king of the upper realms and the air energy, because as the snake moves, you know, it takes all of the vibrations into consideration, but it really doesn't do well in other elements. And so even if it swims in the water, it's more vulnerable there, right? 'Cause the ground, you know, having the grass and everything is definitely more safe for it. So this one is also reminding us to be tasting the air, listening to the vibrations around us, so really being in your body about some of the choices coming up if you had a home purchase agreement or anything happening in terms of that. Be very, very aware of your feelers, so to speak. And I feel like that's everything that wants to come through for you in terms of that message there. So that's great that you saw a snake yesterday too, because that medicine is one of the most powerful medicines. I can't remember at this very moment because it's slipping my mind, but you know, the staff of the healing, and of course, you know, we use that in the medical industry right now. But that is one of our greatest signs for healing as well. So there's deep healing energy around you at this time, and you more than likely have the ability to heal others as well. So making sure that you remind yourself how important you are inherently, you know, that doesn't have to do with material belongings. It has to do with your value as a person and what you bring to the world as a person. So there you go. So if there's anybody else that would like a personal reading, just put yes, please in the comments. More than happy to pull a card for you. If you haven't already, if you could go ahead and hit the like button for this video if you've enjoyed it. Just helps me grow my community. And I'm very grateful for that indeed, as I am just starting out on this platform. So it would really help a lot. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do so if you're interested in watching more readings like this. And you can also hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I am coming on, because I do most of my readings live. And so you can find me online live. And usually I'll give you a heads up on my Facebook page beforehand, Kindred Heart Tarot. And you can find me on IG too. And I usually put a little story on there before I'm coming on live, so you can find me that way as well. So thanks everybody for tuning in today. I'm not sure if anybody has any questions about the current energetic landscape. If you wanted to go into any clarity over the cards, just let me know. But I really love to see all you guys here, and thank you so much for the support. I will be back on a Saturday, and if not Saturday, I'll be on Sunday evening probably. Depends on how the smoke is. There's so much smoke here right now that I'm not sure what my plans for the weekend will look like. So, but I will be on at some point over the weekend, and I will let you know. Thanks, Kathy. Appreciate it. All right, you guys. So it is that time. I will leave it here. You guys have an excellent day, and those are your messages for, this week. So ciao for now. Take care. Bye.